Hey everybody, it's Friday fun! Yay, it's Friday! Friday fun with the Creativity Cave. I'm Dina Rico and I'm super excited to stamp with you today. I've got some great cards to make. We actually have two different versions of this card, so I can't wait to share it with you. A quick note, I have some really awesome stuff happening this month here at the Creativity Cave. First off, I have our Sunshine and Creativity Delivered subscription this month will feature creative uses of background stamps. And I think this is going to be a really great class. Lots of fun kind of out-of-the-box ideas. So I hope you're going to love that. To get this box, make sure you subscribe by the 31st of July and you will receive the box in August. It ships in August. You just have to register the month before. So that's my Sunshine and Creativity Delivered. I also have two online classes that I want to tell you about, Inked and Tiled and Trucking Along. Oh, the cards are so cute. So both of these classes are going to be pretty amazing. All you need to do to get registered is drop me an email. Link is in, or my email address is in the description of this video. Today we're going to use the Timeless Charm Bundle. This is one of our brand new online exclusives that was released this month. And I have really quickly fallen hard in love with this set. So I wanted to have a little fun with some of the images. So I cut myself a 2.5 by 1 1/4 inch piece of Fluid 100 watercolor paper. And I'm going to use my Versamark ink pad to ink this stamp up. And I'll stamp it down in the center here, like so. And by the way, before this, I started doing this, I did treat this with my embossing buddy. This is from our Embossing Editions toolkit, and it's a really helpful tool. I use this, I would say almost every time I stamp. Not quite every time, but almost. So you can see I've got my powder on here. My little tweezers helps hold all of this. Let's not emboss over the powder, Dina. And I'm just going to heat this up until the powder melts with my heat tool. Now, all the stuff that I am using today can be found in my online store, and there's links in the description of this video. And if you like my videos, could you do me a huge favor and give me a like, give me the thumbs up on my video, and subscribe to my channel. I do a live on Mondays and a video on Friday that is always fun. Okay, now I did this 2 more times, so I have a total of 3 panels, and I thought I would come up with a fun color combination. So this was mostly inspired by some designer series paper we had, or actually I think we still have it. It's something irresistible. It goes with the irresistible blooms. Anyway, the paper inspired me to use this color combination. So I've got Soft Seafoam, Pool Party, and Pretty Peacock. So we're going to do a little watercoloring. Now, before you think, oh, I don't watercolor, Dina. Well, first off, it's so easy. If you can scribble, you can make this card. So it's very, very simple. I squeezed the ink pad to the lid. And that gives me some color in the lid. Now, if you struggle with hand strength to do that, because you do got to press, relatively hard, no worries. You can just pick up the ink on a clean block. I'll show you that on the next color. Now, I've got a couple of colors. By the way, I had to show you this. I got this for my besties. This towel, but I'm using it to clean my brushes off with. Wow, that was rather inappropriate. Let's be friends. I think this is kind of hysterical. So anyway, I got that for my Stampin' Buddies, and I figured you guys would find it as humorous as I did. All right, now I'm going to use my water painter, and to use this, I want to make sure that there's water kind of flowing through here. And I'm going to pick up that color, and then I'm just literally going to scribble brush it on. I'm not covering the entire piece of my cardstock, but a good amount. Now, remember when I said you could just put your ink pad, you could just touch a clean block to the lid of your ink pad and then pull the color out. That's how I did it. And so I'm just dabbing color over the top of that embossed area. And then the embossing is going to resist the color. So it'll be a nice clean spot where my image is. And we'll come back to that one in a second. We'll repeat the same exact process with our Pool Party ink pad. Oh goodness, Pool Party is one of the best colors. Okay, so I'm just going to do the same thing. I'm brushing some of that color, scribbling it across my embossed piece. And you can see it kind of beads up on there. We'll finish that off with a towel or a Kleenex or something. Okay, and then I'll repeat this one more time with my Pretty Peacock. Now this is a much darker color, so I want to be careful not to go too crazy with it because I don't want it to like be way different than the other colors I've used. Okay, so that's pretty good. Not too bad. I didn't want it to be like ridiculously dark, but I think we're good. Now you can really see that image pop through. Okay, so what I want to do next, as I mentioned, is kind of clean off this a little bit. So I'm going to take a little bit of my towel here and I'm just going to kind of wipe on those embossed areas. All right, so that looks good. We're just cleaning it up a little bit so that embossed image really pops out. Depending on the color you're using, it might kind of happen more naturally than other colors. Okay, and I'll just clean this one up as well. And again, you can do that with a paper towel, whatever you've got handy. I had this towel handy, so that's why I used that. All right, now as these are drying, we're gonna do one more set of these, and this set I embossed ahead of time. I'm just gonna kind of push my ink pads back here. So I did the embossing off camera just so you didn't have to wait for me to do that. And I used the flower image from this stamp set, which I really like. It's just a cute little image. So here we go. We've got 3 of those embossed just exactly the same way. Now this time, rather than going over the whole thing, we're going to go over them with one flower with one of each of these colors. Okay. And then we'll do green on the green parts of the flower. Okay. So I'm going to start with Daffodil Delight. And these are just bright, cheerful, summery colors. Now, I am scribbling from the standpoint that I'm totally going outside the lines. That's by design. I'm going to repeat that with my pumpkin pie. And I'm just kind of going over this, scribbling. And of course, we need to go outside the lines because otherwise we wouldn't be able to see the edges of the image. So it's important to go out of the lines on this one. And once more, this time with Melon Mambo. So like I said, this is just a bright, summery color combo. So it's really fun and simple. All right, then I'm going to take and add some lemon lime twist to the leafy part of the flower, the stem, I guess that's what you would call that. Okay, so once again, not being super careful, just throwing some color on there. Throwing a little caution to the wind here. Like I said, if you can scribble, you can watercolor. And obviously, sometimes we like to watercolor a little bit more accurately, but this one is just kind of a fun-looking, sketchy image, so we'll just sketch outside the lines and have it look kind of fun like that. Okay, now I'm going to let these dry for a minute. Okay, let's come back to these. Now, we did all of this beautiful coloring, but it's a little bit plain. So what I want to do is take some get some water on my bristles. So squeeze that brush so that it's literally drippy wet. And then I'm literally going to drip some water on these like so. So I'm just kind of dabbing water, and what's going to happen is that's going to react with the paint or the ink that's on there already. And you can kind of see it on this darker one. It's already starting to happen where the water is leaving kind of a mark, which makes it kind of interesting looking. Now, another way to do that, what I just did is dab it exactly where I wanted it. Another way to do that is to take that same wet brush and tap it against your finger or against like a pen or something, and just tap wet water droplets on. And then that will do the same thing, only it'll be little smaller areas and little droplet-y areas. The other thing you can also do, this is even another possibility, is to take a little bit of that color. You want to be a little careful and tap. So I've got a little color in my brush. Let's get it a little bit juicier. Being a little careful to squeeze so I don't get a ton of water. And then I'm just going to carefully tap this. And then look at that, I get speckles. Now you want to be careful that you don't have anything important next to this piece, just because like you can see it got, got around a little. So I'll pick up some more of my color. This time I've got Pool Party on my brush just a little bit, and we'll tap this on. And there we go. And last but not least, let's get some, actually I might use my block to get some of the soft sea foam. Since this is such a light color, I'm really loading up my brush as much as I can. Okay, and then I will tap on here as well. Okay, so we're gonna let all that dry again, and then let's come back to our other three. So part of watercoloring is being patient, because sometimes you got to let stuff dry in between. Well, let's come back to these. These look great, but I want to do that same technique with these. By the way, I hope you noticed I was doing all that with my smaller brush, not my big wash brush like we started with. All right, so I'm going to tap some water on all of these, and we'll get that same effect of the water droplets onto our watercolor. All right, and then once again, I'm going to go over this with my rag, and it's going to pick up some of the color that I watercolored already. That's fine. You want to make sure you're doing it on a clean place, whether it's, because you can see we're picking up that color, whether it's with a towel or a Kleenex or a paper towel or whatever. And now I've picked up some of that ink, and I just have some fun little droplet marks on there. You can repeat this process again if you want. So if you want to get some more colors either added or taken away, so like I can add some pumpkin pie. I'm leaving these close together because if I get different colors on each one, it's not the end of the world, and that's kind of a fun effect as well. All right, I'll pick up a little yellow. I want to be careful that I don't get too much color on here. So I'll do a little bit of my Melon Mambo, but because that color is so much darker, I want to be careful not to go crazy. All right, and this is getting a little drippy wet, so I'm going to pick up some of that color. There we go. I think I need to wash my towel so it'll be more absorbent. All right, and I'm just going to carefully fleck just a little bit. There we go, on each of these, because you can get carried away. But now what I have on each of these, look at this one, is I have some color flecks and some water flecks, and it looks fantastic. Okay, so now we're going to be patient. We're going to let all these dry, and then we're going to come back and put them in a card together. Okay, guys, I think I deserve an adulting sticker that said, "Yay, I waited for my watercolors to dry." um, so I was really, really patient. I played a game on my phone while I waited for these to dry, and I was rewarded with lovely looking watercolor pieces. Now, you might be tempted to heat set these, but I don't recommend doing that because you can remelt the white powder and then it will turn the color or a weird color of the watercolors that you're using. So just be careful of that. Okay, one other thing, I mentioned when you're doing the flicking, you know, the tapping of the wet brush, to be careful so it doesn't touch anything you don't want it to touch. Here's an example of that. I got some color in my pool party ink pad, and if I were to squeeze that lid, then my pool party pad would get contaminated. So I want to make sure and clean that out really good. So I'm just going to take a wet brush and get it wet. And then I'm going to take, I grabbed a Kleenex since my towel is not super absorbent yet because it's new. It needs to be washed. But now I've got this all nice and clean, so I don't have to worry about that in the future. Okay, now let's take these beautiful pieces and we're going to get some dimensionals on them so we can make a card out of each, or 2 cards, I should say. Now I am going to be fairly aggressive in my dimensionalizing. Is that a word? It totally is. I love making up words, especially ones that have to do with stamping techniques, right? So dimensionalizing your pieces is very important to get them to pop up nicely on your card. And because whenever you watercolor, your paper probably is going to curl or warp a little bit from the water, it's always a good idea to put extra adhesive to hold things in place nicely. So I would never normally use this many dimensionals on a piece like this, but I think it's worth it. So here we go. Plus, dimensionals are consumable and you can buy more from my online store. So have at it. Use more. Okay. Now, if you want, you can get a discount on your dimensionals and all your stamping products by getting the best deal we have in Stampin' Up, which is the starter kit. It is such a good deal. And it comes with really amazing perks, the best of which is that you'll be a part of my Stampin' Up team. And there's all kinds of fun extras that come with that. If you are interested or have questions, you let me know. But it's really a no-brainer. You can get a great deal on your fabulous stamping supplies. Now I've got a half a sheet of crumb cake cardstock, and I want to take and add my 3 pieces to this, roughly there. Now in our stamp set, there's a couple of nice little sentiments, and so I'm going to take my Pretty Peacock ink and I'm going to ink up this sentiment and stamp this on here, which says, "Happy birthday, my dear." And it's just cute little writing. Okay, now I'm going to attach these watercolor panels. On here, and oh yes, the extra dimensionals are perfect for this. And everybody likes stuff that's popped up. I believe that with all my heart. Okay, so I love the look of this. I think it's really cute and really, really pretty, but subtle, you know, like it's not too crazy. Okay, so that looks wonderful. Now, this seems a little plain, so we want to jazz it up just a touch. I'm going to take some linen thread. This is one of my favorite accessories, just because it's such wonderful stuff. And I'm going to cut a little bit extra length so that I can tie a bow with this. And I'm going to tie that bow kind of off to the side of the 3 of them. kind of centered above the word birthday. Okay. Oh, so pretty. So that looks wonderful. And now you could for sure leave it like this, or you could add some like embellishments. So, ooh, I think I'm gonna take, I love brass butterflies. I think they're so pretty. And this would add a really nice subtle touch to this card. So I'm just gonna pop one on each of these little panels here. And look at that. Isn't that an awesome card? Super easy, right? We had so much fun scribbling our colors. Then we added a couple nice touches to really make this a great card. Okay, let's repeat this process with our other card, or I should say our other watercolor pieces. So once again, I'm going to use a crumb cake card base, give it a good crease with my bone folder. I've got these 3 cutie patootie flowers that we have got all of our dimensionals on. And you know what, let's change this one up, and we could do it this way just for some variety. All right, and in my stamp set I've got another sentiment. Now this time I think I'm going to do it in some early espresso ink, just a little different, like that. Oh, and that's kind of crooked. So here's my fix. And this is going to solve 2 problems. I'm going to use a panel of crumb cake that's 4 by 5 1/4 inches. And the reason is because I goofed on that, right? So now I can fix it. So I'm going to stamp that once again. On here. Now the other problem that it's going to fix, there we go, is that, and is that straight? Gosh, I hope it's straight. It's still a little crooked. Okay, 3rd time's the charm. This is why I love that cardstock has 2 sides. But the other thing I was going to say that this is going to also help with, and let's put these on here to kind of help with the position, is now I can tie my linen thread around this too. Okay, that's pretty good. We're going with it. Does it help to know that sometimes I have to re-stamp things? Okay, so I have this, actually, I want it to go just a teensy bit. Oh, just a teensy bit off the side of this panel. One of the dimensional backings was off of that center one, but I just want to get everything lined up. And again, I'm going just a teensy bit off the end here. And there we go. Oh, I need to take the backings off. Silly Dina. Okay. And then that 3rd one I gotta rearrange. Okay. Come on, work with me. There we go. I think we've got it now. All right, so we've got our 3 beautiful panels on here. We are going to do the same thing by taking our linen thread and tying a bow on here. I like the early espresso ink for our sentiment just because it kind of goes with the crumb cake look, you know, and it's a neutral color, so it looks good with everything, you know. So we've got these kind of bright colors on here, and I think it looks wonderful. So we'll tie a bow once again on our card. We'll kind of alter this so they're good size. And then here again, if you would like, you can add some of those butterflies because they're just so cute. And see, now we covered up our mistake. And we had a layer so that we could run the ribbon or the linen thread around the center. So I love that. I'm going to stick with the little ones, I think, on this. Kind of like that and like that. Oh, so cute. So I would love to know which one of these is your favorite. Please let me know in the comments. And I hope you will give this a try. It's just so easy and fun. No hardcore watercoloring skills needed at all, but it is really pretty. Have a fun time experimenting with this, and thanks so much for watching. We'll see you again soon. Bye, guys.